maybe 30 seconds away. We're going to have pretty interesting call. It's going to probably have some emotions in this call today. And that's one of the things the V Smart does. And it creates emotions across the country. We're changing lives. And, one of the things with our company, we've come to find out there's just so many different testimonies across the country, not just the United States, but across the country that's touching a lot of people. So we're going to have a guest on today, wonderful leader, and I'm going to introduce you to him in a few minutes. But what I want to do is just thank everybody for taking the time out of their busy schedule. We know it's Thursday, right around 1 o'clock. A lot of people are busy and a lot of things are going on leading up to the weekend. So we appreciate everybody taking the time to come and learn more about your virtual portal at today's Google Hangout. What I like to do is just get started, always giving some recognition to our board, and we have a lot of calls, webinars, and you're probably used to seeing me, or you hear names like Coach Danner or Rachel or different people out there. So I'm just going to show you a few people, and that way you can put a face with the voice, and you'll know exactly who we're talking about or who you're hearing doing these webinars or these trainings, just to see the family at your virtual portal. So I'm just going to show a few pictures right now just to introduce you to some of the team, some of the people that are very, very dedicated to making sure that your virtual portal is up to par. We'll help. We have a call every week, and if you could just hear the concern and how much the people are wanting to help people out here in the world from a change perspective, and not only financially, but just touching hearts and just being a family. And we'll start off with, of course, the captain of the ship is Colleen Sullivan and her husband John. This was at our national convention, and you can see she's an excellent trainer. And you'll hear her Saturday. We'll be talking about the dynamic call training that's going to be, it's actually a webinar Saturday at 12. So you can put a face to the voice. We'll move through pretty quickly before we can get to our guest today. This, of course, is Hector, and a lot of people here, the master distributor Hector Rosario, works very hard. It's always in a different city or a different state. He's definitely an excellent trainer, leader in the business, and has a lot to do with the momentum of what's happening here in such a short period of time since our launch. This is Clyde. You hear him probably tonight at 10 o'clock. We have a webinar every Thursday night, and it's a business opportunity webinar that you can hear. So put a face with the voice. You'll see him there or hear him tonight at 10 every Thursday. And then, of course, we have a Spanish community that's growing really huge, and that's Johnny Uraca. He's out of the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, definitely powerful speaker. He's launched companies, dynamic guy, and he does a great webinar on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock Eastern time, so you can check that out. And this is Chris. Maybe if he was on the call Tuesday at 1, he's very, when it comes to technology, a lot of experience in technology. He does the business-to-business examples of how we can go out to corporations and really show your virtual portal how it's changing the world out there in the corporate world. And then the pastor battle. We have a call on Mondays at I think it's 8:30, and it's really for pastors. A lot of ministers and churches out here have been helped with the your virtual portal Be Smart because of the power of it being able to be sent out in just a simple text, and people can donate. You'll see how that was used actually later today as far as raising money as well. And then, of course, it's my wife, Rachel Danner. She's at a actually live event there at our corporate training down there in Tampa, Florida, and you can see me in the background, but that's Rachel doing a training and on the V-Smart, and then of course me as well was down there speaking. So that just gives you an overview of the team, the chemistry we have. On Thursdays I like to briefly just start out with letting everybody know and thanking the players involved. Now the next picture here is a wonderful dynamic couple. I mean, you can just look at the smile and you can tell they're having fun. But this is Ken Bristow, Ken and Lisa Bristow. And Ken actually is going to be the guest today. And Ken actually hosts the call. Ken and Lisa host Sunday nights at 8:30. You can plug in live and listen. And they're very dynamic speakers. And they have a lot of touching I've never seen in this industry as long as I've been in. Just in a short period of time, it seems like they just go emotion to the next emotion, to the next emotion, to the point that you're out of my wife says you're out of Kleenex. You can't cry anymore. But it's very touching with some of the things and that they've already done in a short period of time. They're building an international team, very huge. And Ken has a background in just as dynamic, not only dynamic in training and duplication, but also powerful in being on boards to consult when it comes to pay plans and compensation plans. And he is basically will tell you a little bit later about how powerful the compensation plan that we have. He'll get into that a little bit. But we're going to start off with just allowing him to share with you his testimony. Now I'm going to show you a particular V Smart that we actually saw, and he talked about this Sunday. If you were on the call Sunday night, him and Lisa was talking about this particular live event. And I like to say event because it's not a story. A story is something that you tell. An event is something that actually happens. And this is a live event that we've been able to help through your virtual portal, Ken and Lisa. And I'll let him explain all the players involved with this touching story. But the V Smart that went out, I'm just going to put it on the screen real quick, and then you'll hear Ken be able to comment and really share the story behind this powerful V Smart. And this is a actual fundraiser for Nigel Landville. And as you can see on this particular V Smart, you can see it on the screen right now. And I'm going to let him discuss in a second. So I'm going to bring this back, but I'm going to bring him on, and I'm going to let him introduce this, and I'll come back, Ken, and put this V-Smart on, and you can talk about it. And just really what you talked about Sunday is very touching. We got so many requests to, about what was going on with that we just brought you here live and let you really recreate this whole event for everybody. So, Ken, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, welcome, and we're definitely glad to have you here. And I can see you now. Go ahead, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and explain. And when you want me to put that up, I'll put it up for you, and you can talk all about this live event that took place and has touched a lot of people.
Certainly. Thank you, Coach. And you can put that up anytime you're ready. I tell people all the time I have a face for radio, so they probably rather see the V Smart anyway. Thank you for having us on the call, and it is an emotional time. It is a touching moment. The V Smart has given us the opportunity to actually make a difference. A lot of companies out there and a lot of products also, they affect people. They do good things for people. This particular V Smart, this particular situation came about in the Netherlands. And one of our teammates out there, up-and-coming leaders, Orfeo Sprang and Yesenia Delnut, they had a situation happen in their neighborhood where this young guy, Nigel Landveld, he's 11 years old, and everyone in the neighborhood knew him. He was a great spirit. He was one of those kind of kids that was everywhere, and he and his sister were walking home from one relative's house to another, I believe it was, and he was hit by a car, and he was killed. And I can't put myself in the situation of the family losing an 11-year-old son to a car accident. No real chance to say goodbye or anything like that. And it was just something that just kind of tore at the community's heart. And Orfeo and Yesenia were moved, very much so. And it turns out that they didn't have enough revenue to bury the son and get him a proper headstone. So when Orfeo and Yesenia reached out to our team and said, what can we do? We immediately thought about the V-Smart. And Orfeo asked, how do we use this V-Smart to make it happen? So team effort. We got some pictures from the family, and this was all on very short notice. We got some pictures from the family. We put it together in the PowerPoint, and we put some music to it. And Raza up in Canada recorded his voice. We call him the radio voice. He sent the message, did the message in English. We had another guy do it in Dutch. And we made a Dutch version and an English version of young Nigel, a picture collection of him, and we put it all together in the V-Smart and put that video up in the top of the V-Smart. And down at the bottom, we put a couple of PayPal online giving buttons so people everywhere could donate whatever was in their heart to help give Nigel a final resting place that the family could be proud of and go back to and share with Nigel. And it just was a touching moment, Coach. It was big time, and it gave us the opportunity to help a family who otherwise didn't have any choices. And when you're associated with a product like that, it becomes part of you, becomes part of your heart, becomes part of your family. And Orfeo has since reported back that the funeral was fantastic, and the family is very appreciative of what your virtual portals vSmart could do for that family. And it even was able enough to raise enough funds for the headstone. So it was a fantastic deal.
Wow. And that's a powerful testimony because we getting stories and people are talking about over the country, across the country, about the excitement about the your virtual portal and the wow factor when you text it out and people are saying, wow, I can, the bottom line of my business can be, greatly effective with this tool. And it has. It's increased the profit margins. The follow up is made easier because it's more effective. And then you hear the testimony which you just presented to us, where just out of nowhere, it's another wow moment. But when you get that type of wow moment, you can see how this vSmart is so effective when it comes to being able to touch people and a call to action button. Because as you notice with our vSmarts, you have a call to action button, whether it be donate now, join now, and there's just so many different ways you can use the vSmart. It's so powerful, and that's very powerful, Ken. I just wanted you to tell that, what had happened, because you and Reza, and you heard him mention this gentleman out of Canada, and you don't hear his name mentioned a lot, but he's responsible really when we're streaming live. So if you're on your smartphone right now and you're hearing or seeing us talk right now live on your vSmart or on your phone, with the vShop Live, Reza is actually the one that gets the credit for doing that. He's a part of our company. And Ken, if you would just talk a little bit about how Reza not only does he have a big heart, obvious, but how just him coming across to be able to show the world how we can now stream live through his his experiment, which was shared with you, and then of course with the CEO, and her having an open heart to be able to say, you know what, this is powerful, and this is what's going to make our company that much more greater. Talk a little bit about Reza and just a little bit about his background and how y'all are really moving your virtual portal.
Certainly, certainly. Raza is a really good friend of ours. He lives up in Toronto, Canada. His background is human resources. He's a people person. He loves training and sharing and affecting people's lives in a positive way. And one day he called Lisa and and we're both on Eastern time zone, and he says, I asked him, usually what are you doing, because we're always working round the clock. My first question is, what are you doing? Why are you not talking to somebody, helping somebody, And he has a beautiful little 4-year-old daughter who's 5 now, Eliza. She actually does trainings for our team. That's how plugged in this guy is with his family. His daughter is usually on his lap when he's doing trainings and coaching calls and things of that nature. And Raza's just a real good people person, but he's also a techie guy. He understands dynamics and things that, we pick up the phone and call him, Raza, I'm trying to put my name here on this page. What do I do? So one day he calls us and says, my standard question, what are you doing? He says, I'm eating breakfast. You want to see me? I'm like, why would I want to watch you eat breakfast? He says, open up your phone. And he sent me a text message that had his vSmart in it. I clicked it, and he said, click that top video. I said, I've seen your video. It's awesome. I know you're great at doing videos. He said, no, click it now. So I clicked it, and there he was, live, eating breakfast. And I'm like, this is a video. He's like, no, it's me. I said, okay, so show me 2, 3, 2 with your fingers. And he said 2, 3, 2. I said, this is live through the vSmart? He said, absolutely. Lisa and I called Colleen, and we said, did you know your vSmart could broadcast live? She fell out of her chair. She knew that it had the capabilities and it could do so much more. It's just the way he figured it out. I wouldn't even have thought to go find out if it could do it. But not only did he have the thought process to go find out, but he figured it out. And the reason he was trying to figure it out is because he MCs weddings. and one of his friends who's of the Indian culture and was getting married at the time. And we love that Indian garb and the saris and the clothing they wear. It's so colorful and elegant. And we were asking him how to broadcast live for the relatives that couldn't be at the wedding. So he got the idea to utilize the V-Smart in that way, and he went and figured out how to do it. And we actually watched the wedding on our cell phone on a V-Smart live in real time. It's just the most amazing thing that this thing just keeps coming and it keeps happening and keeps bringing communities together. I mean, we're talking spanning oceans. We had people in the Netherlands and Australia watching an Indian wedding in Canada, in Toronto, Canada. It's just a beautiful thing to bring communities together, and Raza's figuring things out, and it's amazing. This is an amazing tool.
Wow, and that's powerful because on Tuesday nights Rachel does a demonstration of what you're talking about, and I often joke with her because I say most people say you can't do two things at one time. Well, she's actually doing three things at one time. She's live, what you just talked about with the V Shop Live on people's smartphone, and doing a webinar and a Google Hangout all at the same time. And that's powerful because it's never been done as far as I've ever seen before. I know the V Shop Live, people are loving it. And I'm getting a lot of people's feedback about how they're able to do live training through that V Shop Live. And it's very effective, not for just like the quote, quote setting of an info commercial where you could literally be talking about the value of your product or service, Ken. And when you're talking about the value and the service, whether it be you are a pastor or, and you're trying to touch people out there, and it's about love and bringing people together as a unity and things of that nature to a business sense where it may not be that type of service, but at the same time, it's about the bottom line of effectively training and being able to duplicate, which I know you're a master at duplication, and so many other things. When you look at the vSmart Shop Live training and the things that you can do from the training, or we call it stream training, to just an info commercial where you're building value and saying, hey, right below, you can go ahead and buy now. And then spend 5 more minutes talking about the special that you have right now, or in building a value in your product or service, and then just like an info commercial, right now you can buy below or join now, call to action buttons. And as you're branding yourself with your V-Shop or V-Smart, and we call it, a virtual business card. And when people see how simple it is, because you can build a V-Smart in less than 5 minutes, and I like to use the term, if you get set up, and when you get set up, if you're sort of like, oh, it's a techie situation here, I'm afraid. It's not like that. As simple as 1, 2, 3. If you can copy and paste, which a lot of times in elementary schools and middle schools, they now have to be able to copy and paste. So if you can copy and paste, then you can build a V-Smart, because on each page there's a video that shows you step by step how to do it, and it's a lot of fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to move into, because obviously we have a very, very unique product and service that's touching different people out there, and there's probably people listening right now saying, you know what, wait till they get a hold of this, because people are doing things just like you mentioned. Raza's doing something that he probably thought was quite simple, and then when he got it to Ken was like, really, this is very powerful. But one of the things that is touching people's lives, from that emotional sense to being able to help people in need, but also being able to help people get out of debt and maybe accomplish some goals as far as the term residual income, or working smarter, not harder. I know we like to be smarter and not harder. Well, a lot of people like to, work smarter and not harder. And that's what happens when you can bring together a nice product or service and be able to refer other people and get paid very well residually. So we're going to just have Ken touch a little bit on our opportunity side. And Ken, so I'm going to turn it back over to you and just let you touch bases a little bit about the power, since you have, looked at, reviewed, served on boards that basically built comp plans, and you and Lisa's background. Just tell them the power of, it's just in a couple minutes, and what you see with what we have here, the dynamics of what we have here with your virtual portal.
Absolutely. Let's see, just a couple of minutes. Okay. This is one of those compensation plans that Lisa and I have been looking for a very long time. There's different things about different compensation plans that are awesome. This one you like this portion of it. This one you like this aspect of it. But what Colleen and John have put together is what they call a hybrid of a binary, which I think is the most simple compensation plan out there. You just have a left and a right leg. Nothing complicated. You put one in the left, one in the right, and help them duplicate the same. Now, we know that gets exponential growth to be of a benefit to us individually. Whereas other compensation plans where you go levels, it's a great compensation plan, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have the exponential growth factor that a binary does, the capability and possibility of a binary. Now, couple that with the unilevel portion of it, where most unilevels will pay you per level in depth, which is fantastic. That's just like a lawyer having different levels of paralegals that work for them, and they're compensated for the levels of paralegals and their efforts. So the next level up of the paralegals are going to be a little more powerful, a little more beneficial to that particular lawyer. It's the same thing for compensation plans. When you have different levels of compensation, not only does it all work together and benefit each other, but it gives you that incentive to go help. So when we saw this particular compensation plan and it wasn't levels, your virtual portal went one step further and created generations as opposed to levels. You're talking 6 generations deep. I don't know if people understand the power of that, but let me just give one little analogy, see if this helps. If Lisa and I introduced someone to our business, let's call him Buddy, and Buddy introduced Charles, and Charles introduced Angela, and Angela introduced Orfeo, and Orfeo introduced Yesenia, and Yesenia introduced Lizzie. Well, Lizzie is 6 levels deep from us. But what happens if there's people in between? So Lizzie is actually now 30 levels deep because there's people there. Well, Lizzie wouldn't benefit our business directly from our standpoint. But since we're talking generations and not just the top 6 levels, she does. Am I incentivized now to go 30 levels deep, 6 generations deep to help Lizzie? Well, absolutely. That's one of the things we love about a binary is because all that volume flows to you. You're incentivized to help the people under your umbrella. So it creates and promotes and incentivizes an environment of teamwork. Now, at the unilevel with generations, now you're heavily incentivized to work together as a team. And we all know teams accomplish more than individuals. And I think Colleen and John have put together a grand slam compensation plan that not only incentivizes us to build our own business and gain our own freedom, but help others in doing the same and create that duplication that your virtual portal originally designed it to do. Many times we design things and they get tweaked and changed and their format changes, but this has just been an enhancement to all of our lives. And Lisa and I have teams in many different countries, and they're all saying the same thing. They've never seen anything like it. Product and compensation plan is just fantastic, coach. It's an outstanding compensation plan.
Well, that's just awesome, Ken. And you really just hit the nail on the head. And we also like to mention that anytime we're talking about an opportunity to make money or compensation plan, this is not a get rich quick or lotto mentality. You have to put in the work. So we're not making any claims. There are people that will get involved in any home business, and some will succeed and some won't. But it's no different than if you had a full time job. if you go to work and you don't do anything, then you're probably going to get fired. Where here, you do have the option not doing anything, but it is sort of similar to put in the same actions you would, work harder for yourself than someone else. But if you'll come here and you can be teachable, and a matter of fact, if you can show up Saturday at 12 o'clock, the CEO, Colleen Sullivan, is going to be talking about a little bit more detailed and breaking down our actual compensation plan, which Ken just did a dynamic job. But she's actually going to take and have a webinar showing you the volume, what he's talking about in understanding residual. And yes, we get paid every Friday. She's paid out since last September of 2013, even in pre-launch. Checks that went out, and actually that's a terminology we use, but with our Your Virtual Portal, we get paid through a different way. It's just downloaded on the card that you have when you sign up, and she'll probably mention that as well, how quick it is. You can get your money and your access, but at the same time, she has not missed a beat. Every Friday, people are getting paid, and so it's a lot of fun to be able to create a situation where, just like Ken started out, the first half was more about charity, helping people, fundraising, changing lives from an emotional standpoint. And then from switching gears and showing for those who may be here and saying, you know what, I would like to have an extra stream or passive way to sit at home and, build on something that's going to pay you later without you having to actually put in the physical work, or what we call linear income. This is more of a passive situation, and as it goes viral, because we already know, being that Your Virtual Portal is the world's first integrated social media texting platform, where you can literally send a text and 90% of the people open their text within 10 minutes, and they say that emails, 80% of them I've heard is going to spam, or maybe they're not even getting them anymore because they get so many emails, and you probably got hundreds, or like me and Ken, probably thousands that's not open. But ask yourself, how many texts do you have that's not open? And when you have an effective marketing or marketing system or tool where you can reach people knowing that they're going to open it up and at least look at it. Now, they may not respond back. A lot of people will, thank you, or whatever the case may be, but they get it, right? And when you have a situation of need or something that's urgent, as Nigel's situation, and how that came together through the vSmart, and people were able to donate right there on the spot. It wasn't I forgot, or I got to get home so I can get that, and who do I need to send it to? And you got all those different areas, and I'm not saying that doesn't work, but what we do with Your Virtual Portal is we help you do what you do better, and that's what we're coming together when he talks about a team. And as you can see him sitting there, obviously he's a person of leadership, and you can just look at the background and see the different plaques that he had on the wall. That comes from helping other people. You don't get to that point without helping other people in this business. That's what network marketing is. So when it comes to duplication and being able to have fun in a business that just is growing, we just launched officially about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, down in Tampa, Florida, and we were already in probably about 15 to 18 different countries when we launched. And there's some exciting things just coming out, because right now we're excited, looking forward to our updated site. It's going to be just unveiled in a few weeks, and it's going to be a lot of excitement. We've got health benefits that was mentioned down at the convention when we launched, and very easy to achieve. When you get to certain ranks, boom, now you're having Colleen, the CEO, or Your Virtual Portal actually pay your health insurance, which is very powerful. Also was mentioned and was white label, and a lot of corporations out here, and if you get on our webinars Tuesday, Chris does a great job talking about that. So if you're interested in that particular market, white labeling just simply means when you send out a vSmart, they take off the Your Virtual Portal brand off of there, so you can pretty much just advertise your company without having Your Virtual Portal's brand there. And that's just some of the things that's been added already, and we're just launching. So we're excited. A lot of the great things coming. Ken, anything before we wrap up? I like to keep it about 1:30, about 30 minutes. We welcome you again, and thank you for coming out with your expertise and just sharing that powerful testimony. Anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I just wanted to thank you and Rachel, Coach, for all you guys do for Your Virtual Portal. our whole team, the whole company benefits from you guys being part of this, and because you're on the corporate advisory board and the things that you and Rachel do for everybody selflessly. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you very much for all you do, man.
And the same here with you, with Ken, and I mean, you and Lisa are doing a dynamic job. And everybody knows that when it comes to retention, duplication, training, making sure that when people come on board, they're with a family versus just coming in. And that is a benefit because in this industry, people are busy, but it's some way you and Lisa find the time to make sure that the team is growing. And you don't look at it as a team of, oh, this is just our group. You're talking about your virtual portal as a whole, and that's why you take the time on Sunday nights to be able to present to us some of these amazing testimonies across the country when people are getting ready to go work on Monday. And Sunday night is one of the most depressed nights because you got to get up and go to work. Well, they hear something as simple as, wow, did you hear Ken and Lisa last night? And that just gives them that edge to say, you know what, we can do this. And failure is not, it's just a chance to start more intelligently. And that's what a lot of times I'm hearing on your calls Sunday nights is you're talking about a situation where people did start more intelligently and they begin to see that, you know what, that life is great as long as you're in a situation where you can help others, and surround yourself with people that are helping others. And that's what your virtual portal does is we help people do what they do better. It's all about the word help. So we're going to wrap it up. We're, like I said, about 30 minutes. It's 1:30 right now, and we appreciate everybody joining us at today's Google Hangout. Make sure Saturday at 12 we have a webinar. CEO Colleen Sullivan is going to be again touching bases and some details on our powerful opportunity in our compensation plan. So to everybody out there, be safe this weekend, and we look forward to seeing you Saturday and also Sunday night. Plug in to Ken and Lisa so that you can hear more about these great, amazing testimonies and leaders that are doing things with your virtual portal. All right, we're signing off now, and everybody have a great day. Thanks.